Good morning and welcome to sunny Webster, Texas. I'm here today and I'm very excited about this to walk you through what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to flooring, to wall tile, to showers. Not just the installation, not just the products, but also the planning and the thinking and the psychology and the science of how we put this stuff together. I'm over here at Total Floors. You have to have one of these to get in here. Let's go and have a look. Hiya, mate. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Listen, thank you for doing this morning. I think everyone's excited to see what goes on behind the scenes. So I think you have some stuff set up at the Laddercrete Vignette.
That's correct.
Could we start there and then kind of go through your facility here?
Absolutely.
Lead the way. Is it through your showroom?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Follow me.
So Pat, you got these tiles here
Yep.
on the wall.
These are wall tiles,
Yeah.
Water jet materials,
Yeah.
beautiful marbles, and then this is our Laddercrete shower system.
Oh. So here we are in your Laddercrete Vignette, and this is really like, it's so difficult to explain to people, you know, behind the scenes, what is so different. You know, very often people say, well, I know a tile guy, or I know this guy, or I know that guy, and he can install. And you know how they do it. They use liners and all kinds of stuff, which, you know, like you say, there's two types of concrete, one that's cracked and one that hasn't cracked yet.
Correct.
Similarly with liners, there's one you know is leaking and one you don't know yet, right? That's my perspective on it. And I'm looking for ways to foolproof my showers and make sure that the install is going to last for generations. And you introduced me to the Laddercrete system. So talk us through what's so different, what's so important. And I know you've got a special treat because you've got Brian from Laddercrete here as well.
Right.
So we'll get him here in a second. But talk us through how this board is installed and what you're looking for as the person who installs, you know, underwrites and takes care of all of this. How is it that this is so much better?
Yeah. Well, obviously, showers are the most important feature. I mean, this is critical work right here. This is where all your problems happen as a builder or as an installer. So we have partnered with Laddercrete, and when we get to a shower, it's just a 2x4 frame studs here. So we have Hydroband board, which is a waterproof board on both sides of the board. And what you'll see here is this is where we attach, so this is our screw heads. We actually use Hydroband screws. Everything we do in this system is Laddercrete Hydroband. So this is a Hydroband adhesive and sealant. We actually this here is a tape line on it, but in between the two boards is a line of sealant in between so that water doesn't get behind the two boards.
You can feel the stickiness.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel, I mean, it's almost like rubber.
That's right. Yeah. And so this is how the system is put together. This is what it looks like. Not as pretty detailed here as before installation, but this is the method of it for water penetration not getting behind the board. And all the board is taken all the way down. And then this here is, to me, probably the most critical part of the Laddercrete shower system. This is your shower pan. Traditional method is PVC liners that a plumber puts in, and they fold corners. And you know, you can see that here we get true 90-degree corners as well. So we get where the installation of the tile is nice and flush all the way to the bottom of the floor.
And you know, when you put those PVC liners in, I've never seen a plumber put one in and do a bad job of it per se, but I have seen plenty of trades come afterwards and puncture it.
Correct. And most of the time, us tile guys have to fix every plumber's pan too. So we're already busting that pan apart and reconfiguring it. And so, and the pans have already been tested before we get there. So when we bust it apart and reconfigure it, most people aren't retesting those pans. So it's an issue. You don't know what's going on. And a lot of
the difference here though, with the system that you're putting in, how is that different?
So that's different by the method here. So as you can see, we have layered this display to show how it's put together. So the Hydroband board goes in first, all the way to the floor. Then we put a felt paper if we're over plywood. And then we have the metal lath, again, if we're over plywood. If we're direct bonding to the concrete slab, we do a slurry. This is the 209 floor mud that we use, but on a concrete slab, we will actually do a slurry coat, which
Right.
is with Multi-Max Lights, so that it's sticky and the concrete mud bed bonds strong to the slab. Then the layers start happening. And this here is how we float. This is the Latacrete flange, and then the drain. And then we have the floor mud, which we've sloped to that. And this is a sheet membrane, which is also can be used on shower walls as well. But this is your shower pan here.
Yeah.
And as you see how we can fold it in nice and you get all your corners. The great thing about this system is how we can make the installation of the tile truly 90 degrees and flush on the bottom where there's no kickouts or anything. And it's a waterproof, so we take 6 inches up the board and then the tile comes over. So this pan is just rolled up on the wall and rolled up over your curbs and put around. So it is a truly watertight system. In the corners here, we have the Latacrete adhesive and sealant, which locks in the sheet membranes. And again, they're overlapped as well. So once all this is completed, we actually do our own water testing for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so we still test every pan for leaks and everything. And so, but once we pass test, this is probably the most efficient shower pan and waterproof system you can get.
Yeah. Yeah, and the difference has been night and day.
Yeah.
And again, it's really important to stress, this is a complete system.
Correct.
From Latacrete.
That's right.
It's not somebody doing something, it's a complete system.
That's right.
That is then tested and then stood behind.
Correct. Yeah. So everything we use in the showers is Latacrete products, meaning the HydroBand board, the HydroBand adhesive, the floor mud, the sheet membrane, the flanges, all the way to the grout and the sealants. We use Latacil in the corners. It's a 100% pure silicone caulk that matches the color of the grout. And so everything in the shower will be a Latacrete shower system. That's why we call it a Latacrete shower system.
And then presumably the drain plane is going to be much more consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And then these are obviously, this is a corner bench seat, which is also made by Latacrete.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, if it's okay with you, and really good news for you, we actually have Brian from Latacrete here. So I'm going to grab him and ask him a few more questions for you. Mate, thanks for that, and I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to, I guess, part 2 of 2 Men in a Shower, only this time we have a different man. This is Brian with Latacrete. He's kindly come down here today to talk to us about 3 of the major things that make the Latacrete system so different and why that matters. Like, whoever you build with, this is something you should be asking for and asking about from your builder. Brian, mate, thanks for coming down here.
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure.
Let's start with talking a little bit about the functionality. You made a fantastic point to me a little while ago, talking about rainfall and showerfall. Why don't you just share that to me again for everyone?
Great point. It's one of those situations where down here in Houston, we're 50 plus inches per year on rain, and we have a lot of concern about the exterior of our home. When we move to the number 1 unit in a home, it's the shower. Up to 3,500 inches of rain per year equivalent, and we don't give as much detail to that as we should.
I couldn't agree with you more. There is so much work, science, and frankly, knowledge out there about how to waterproof and make sure that the water plane of the exterior of the house. In fact, you know, I love talking about the systems that we use, the zip and everything else. But your point is so valid, because that times, you know, a couple of hundred is what you're looking at when it comes to a shower. You get so much more waterfall here, and this is a much bigger vulnerability to the home.
Absolutely.
Well, let me show this, so maybe you can talk through this. This is kind of a cross section of the board that you guys use, and it's like waterproof on both sides and at the core, correct?
That is correct. And so the reason for that is we've got water, as we all would expect, coming off our bodies, coming out of the shower, but at the same time you've got steam. Steam is also a water, it's a vapor barrier. Right. So we want to make sure that we're protected from the front side through the process into the back as well, to make sure that water goes where we want it to go, which is down the drain.
That's where we want it to go. You also wanted to talk a little bit about design, and obviously we design and build one-off custom homes for our clients. Talk a little bit about how this system works with that.
Ultimately, we as consumers want our domiciles to look pretty. We want it to be designed, whatever the current is, from a large format products to small format to mosaics to stone. What Latacrete has done really well is put together a system that allows you to design any size shower, any shape to the custom home that you're building, to the luxuries and specifications that you would like to have as a consumer. We have a product line that will cover from soup to nuts, from the bottom all the way up, to allow for you to have exactly what it is that you want and still be waterproof and safe.
That for me is massive. You know, just there's a practicality, but there's an aesthetic, and that really is what I'm always trying to do. I'm trying to give construction science and the beauty the same DNA, right?
Yes, sir.
And then let's talk a little bit about the warranty, because you guys offer an unbelievable warranty. The warranty that we put in our homes through you guys, it's like a 10-year warranty that covers the whole shower unit as we assemble it today, correct?
That is correct. So what Latacrete has done is a wonderful process where we take it all the way from the substrate up, including your walls. It gives you a completely waterproof system with multiple components that allows you to put your tile anywhere that you want to put it and make sure that the water is concentrated.
There is, I hear, a lifetime warranty.
Absolutely. What that takes is all the components, puts them into an order, which allows you to have the lifetime warranty that you want to have for your home.
I think that's something we should look into. Thank you for setting that up and for getting Brian here as well.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. That Latacrete system, it's a game changer. I mean, everything you've done, the wood program you've put in, everything else has just been, it's really helped take Royal Texan Homes to the next level. We've been doing this for about 18 months.
Correct.
There's a big focus on stuff. People are always, you know, what stuff makes you different? What stuff do you put in the house? And I always say to people, stuff is the 20%. And without the 20%, you can't do the how, right? The how doesn't matter, you know? Similarly, if you don't have the stuff, the how still doesn't matter.
Right.
But if you do have the stuff, the how really matters. And we've been doing this together for what?
About 18 months.
18 months. I don't think that people understand what goes on behind the scenes and the amount of work that goes into creating every unique home so that it works as well and as efficiently and as well designed.
Right.
I know you have a separate studio here where you have your guys working very hard on creating plans and drawing plans that we send you with our selections.
Right.
Would you have some time to be able to show us that?
Absolutely.
I'll follow you, mate.
Okay.
This is an incredible studio you guys have here. It's a lovely facility. Oh, I tell you what, not being 1,000 degrees
Yes.
and the sun being out here in
Beautiful
Texas,
day.
what a moment.
Come on in.
Oh, thanks, man. Whoa. This is quite the facility here.
Thank you.
Wow. So, you know, usually when people say tile guy
Right.
or flooring guy, they don't anticipate a facility like this with a team of people like this
Right.
doing what these guys do. So explain, what is it that you guys do here?
Yes, sir. So this here is where our estimating team and our project management team do all the work. This is where all of the plans get brought in, and my team bring it in, put in the new software we have, and then they start developing the drawings that we got to have so that our execution team for our project managers can then have shop drawings in the field and all the tile designs with the grout spacing, grout colors, everything like you get on a blueprint. So we create a blueprint for our team so that they can follow the instructions to execute properly.
And I mean, that's just a world apart from what we're used to.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why we love working with you guys. Not just the details of what you do with the project, how you install it, what a good fisherman you are, but also, you know, that we have a trackable audit trail blueprint before we even get in the field,
Right.
we know that you're looking at, hey, we're laying it this way, we're doing
Right.
this is material. We know that there's no mistakes, we're not going to run out. We know everything is laid out, and you actually create the drawings here, right?
Right, yeah, it actually starts with your team. The ladies in the design room are amazing to work with. Your process that you have put in place allows us to do our job correctly for you and verified by them. And so they tell us what they want, and then our team puts it together and we draw it up like we need to and get all those details marked. Your selection sheet process makes our life a lot easier. And so
Well,
it starts there.
I mean, it's good for both of us. We have to
Right.
do some error reduction,
Right.
you know, and that kind of is what we're after. But Chelsea here has been working on some things. Chelsea, do you mind if we dive in with you and just kind of look at what you're working on? So Chelsea, and I recognize this is, these are our selections that we sent you, but talk us through how this gets from what we send you into what you put out to the field and send back to us.
Yes, so your team sends us all the floor and wall selections along with these diagrams that show the patterns and what direction everything should run and the plans, and from there we pull that into our takeoff system and generate our own drawings.
Now that's fairly detailed. It looks to me like you lay out not just the direction of the tile, but how it's laid, and the size looks like it's accurate.
Yes, so we pull in all the details for the specific materials. We can even create detailed patterns like this where you have multiple tiles involved, and then we're able to set the pattern position. This helps us give information to our team in the field as well.
So pretty much you're taking the guesswork out of it. Nobody in the field is sitting there going, how do they want this to be done?
Absolutely, that's the goal.
So then you send this back to who?
Well, this helps us with your team. If we have questions about layouts and such, I can send this to them for approvals, make sure that everything's laid out correctly. And then, like I said, we give this to our team and this is what they install off of.
And then this gets literally stuck up on the walls in our homes, and it takes every ounce of guesswork out. This is fantastic. Thank you, Chelsea. That's really good. I'm sorry for just jumping in on you like this, but thank you very much. That's pretty remarkable, man.
It is.
And the detail, you know, the forensic level of detail that we are able to, you can literally count the planks, the tile on the plans. That's fantastic. I think from here, the next thing we need to do is get out to the field and see one of these projects that you've installed for us. And I think for that, I'm probably going to do this as a part 2. So from us here at Total Floors, we'll see you over in the field on the next one.